Want to learn the secrets of unlocking more conversions? In this episode, I'll be sharing with you how to write a sales page that actually converts with just 5 simple steps. Let's get started. Before we get on to the main topic, I just wanted to state that I'm considering actually stopping the Megan Taylor Creative podcast, mainly to focus on my YouTube channel. I feel like the podcast was a really good stepping stone for me to get more comfortable making multimedia content and being the face of my own brand. And as I slowly transitioned into a video podcast, I realised that I really enjoyed making video content. I knew that that was going to happen because I love YouTube and I grew up watching it for hours and hours on end, and I still watch YouTube, especially for marketing content and things like that. But also with creating a YouTube video and also creating a podcast, there's a lot that goes into it, and I just wanted to focus on one channel as opposed to trying to do all of the things and then ending up feeling burnt out. So I think I have decided that my main channel is going to be YouTube, and I might decide to do another podcast in the future, but right now I just want to focus on video content because that's what does really well, and I think that's what consumers are really into as well. And also I just want to be able to grow my YouTube channel quicker just by posting more video content. So yeah, that's basically the main thing that I wanted to talk about. Also, I'm still kind of recovering from a sore throat, as you can probably tell. It's not nearly as bad as it was last week, which is really good news, but yeah, it just might go in and out every so often, so if my voice sounds a little bit strange, that's why. But I really wanted to get a YouTube video out to you this week, and I'm considering, now that I've decided not to do the podcast anymore, either to do 1 or 2 videos a week. I'm not quite sure, but I was thinking more like maybe 1 on the Friday, so like how my old schedule was, and then 1 on the weekend, so either the Saturday or the Sunday. Yeah, just let me know what you think. I'll probably ask this question on social media as well. I've kind of talked this morning about the idea of stopping the podcast completely just so that I can focus on video content anyway. So yeah, as always, let me know what you think, and let's just get straight on into this video, which is going to be all about how to write a sales page. The main topic of this video is going to be how to write a sales page that actually converts. And in order to understand how to write a sales page, you obviously need to understand what it is and the main purpose of a sales page in general. And simply put, a sales page is a type of landing page that's written and designed specifically to get instant sales. So common examples of sales pages include e-commerce product pages, course sign-up pages, and subscription sign-up pages. And obviously, there are other ways that you're going to get sales within your business, but sales pages are really powerful because they essentially help you capture really hot leads there and then without the need for pushing them down a bloated sales funnel, which might frustrate interested buyers if it's not optimized correctly. Before we continue, it's also important not to confuse a sales page with a squeeze page. So while a sales page is looking to drive sales there and then, the purpose of a squeeze page is to actually get the user to provide their information in exchange for some kind of value. Think of newsletter signups or pages asking you to book a free appointment. In that instance, you're not actually exchanging any monetary value from the prospect, from the lead. Instead, you are getting the prospect to give their information and essentially squeezing that information out of them, hence the name. So now that you know what a sales page is and why you might want to actually invest time and energy to creating one, let's look at my 5 steps for creating a sales page. And the first is to state your value proposition in the hero header. Now, it's very important that you include a hero header because, as I stated before, a sales page is a type of landing page, and landing pages need hero headers. Essentially, a hero header is a header that generates interest focused and encapsulates everything that the page is about in several simple words. And in order to really leverage the hero header in your sales page, you need to state the value proposition. So in case you didn't know, a value proposition is the reason why customers would buy from you. So what is it that you are promising to your audience? What are you going to deliver? So for instance, as a full service content marketing agency, Megan Taylor Creative's main value proposition is to provide clients with content marketing services that will facilitate their entire campaign life cycles. There are also other ways of framing value propositions. So it could be that you offer a really competitive price in your industry, or you offer a really great experience. Just think about what it is that you can offer and why exactly a customer would buy from you and not your competitor. And while it's really easy to get carried away, you need to remember that this is a header. You don't need it to be long. Ideally, you want it to be a sentence that's just a few words. I think anything longer than 2 sentences and you're going to lose people very, very quickly. The idea of the header is to get their attention and then to get them to continue reading the rest of the body copy. So you want to make sure that you're not getting too carried away. And in a way, this is a really good exercise for helping you distill down your value proposition. And then you can use this distilled version of your value proposition as, a sales pitch for when you're on sales calls, for when you're trying to promote in your social media posts. A lot of social media platforms, they have quite small text restrictions, so you can only write a certain amount of words, and obviously Twitter's very famous for that, having very limited characters. So it's just a really good practice to get into, so that you can actually start to explain clearly what your offering is. And then once you've actually got that down, you can essentially immortalize that. Within your sales pages moving forward, and you know that it works because you've actually tested it out in real life scenarios too. The next step to writing a high converting sales page is to address your reader directly. So as soon as you've written your hero header, that should be at the very top of your sales page, and then the next thing that you need to do is actually talk directly to your reader. And there are several ways that you can address your reader directly, but the most impactful way when it comes to writing a sales page is to ask them if they're fed up of feeling like X. This really works, at least as a service provider. So for example, on my content marketing consultation pages, I say things like, are you fed up with feeling lost with your content marketing strategy? And what that does is that just agitates the reader a little bit. So it gets them to really think about what their problems are, and it gets them kind of riled up. And obviously you can go as far as you want with this. It depends on the industry that you're in and the audience that you're appealing to. But for my audience, I know that I'm appealing to business owners, and a lot of these business owners might not have the time and also might have a lot of pressure because they're trying to make their business work, and they're just kind of struggling to market their message and their offering properly. So I want to approach this particularly in a softer way. So that's why I use a piece of copy like I do, where I say, are you fed up of feeling frustrated or stuck with your content strategy? Because that is enough to agitate the reader without actually upsetting them. But it really does depend on your, moral compass and your industry, how far you go with that. And then once you've actually agitated the reader, you want to start speaking to them even more directly by using some persuasive storytelling. The key here is to actually focus on transformation. So what I mean by transformation is, what is it that their life would look like after they've bought from you? You want to write in clear, concrete words exactly what their life would look like after the purchase as a way to entice them. And obviously you can use very persuasive language, and you can start to set up a lot of context here and use emotional language as well, power words and things like that. So a big word that I use on my Power Hour sales page is feel re-energized. That's exactly how I want them to feel after they've booked a session with me. I'm not necessarily promising here that I'm going to solve all of their content marketing solutions, but what I am promising is that they will feel re-energized and ready to make content again. And I think that if you've been creating content content for so long by yourself, it's very easy to get very frustrated and just fed up with it all, especially if you're not seeing any results. But sometimes you just need that external motivation to help you feel re-energized and ready to make content again. So that's why I said in my sales page that that's the main focus of transformation here. I really want them to get that feeling, and I know that I can make someone feel like that because every time I have a content strategy call with a client, they find it very valuable and they actually want to start making content again, just because I'm so excited about creating content. So that's exactly what I mean by transformation. So if you're a coach, maybe you might have a similar value proposition that you can use to highlight the transformation. Or, for example, if you're trying to sell a product, you can talk about how the customer might feel after using that particular product. A really good example is the health and fitness industry. I currently am getting back into the gym and I'm trying to get strong, and that is my main focus in the gym. I'm not focusing necessarily on losing weight, I'm focusing on muscle. So if I'm looking for a protein powder, I'm going to look at the protein powder that allows me to have the best performance in the gym and also has the most protein, because if in case you didn't know, protein is a vital piece of nutrition to get if you want to put on muscle. So it's just things like that where you're actually understanding why someone might actually buy from you and what they're looking for out of your product. And as a final note, you also want to address your reader using direct language. So when you're talking about the transformation and you're talking about their pain points and you're addressing their pain points, you want to use very direct language. So basically you just want to say you throughout the entire sales page. So are you feeling like this? Is this what you want, kind of thing? Is this isn't what you want, right? That kind of very direct language will just help the reader feel like they're being talked to directly, as if they were talking to a friend or something like that, or a customer service representative. If they were going into an actual shop, that is how someone would speak to them. So you could use we depending on what your offer is. For example, if you offer like a cohort course and a community, you want to show that they're going to get that community and say we're a collective or something like that. But to be honest, I think you is more personal and direct and just has better results. So now that you've agitated the reader, you now actually want to provide a solution. And there again are several different ways that you can go about this. Obviously, you actually want to state the solution in very clear, concrete language. And I cannot emphasize enough just how important it is to make sure that the language that you're using is very clear, because people won't buy what they don't understand. So just bear that in mind. You should be using simple and concise language the entire time that you're writing your sales page. But there are more exciting ways that you can actually state the solution as well. So the main key here is to actually focus on the benefits rather than the features. It goes without saying that you do want to include features, because features are the thing that make your product special, but at the same time you want to show why your features are so powerful. So instead of just saying powerful features or something like that, which I see on a lot of SaaS sales pages, it's just unlock powerful features. I'm like, but what power are you giving me? Like, why is this feature so special? So as an example, I'm going to use my business again, just because I write all of my own copy and that is generally what I am most invested in outside of client work. So as I mentioned before, I recently launched a Power Hour service, which is essentially a 60-minute consultation where the person that actually books a slot does also get an action plan too, which essentially helps them to build a better content strategy. And that in itself would be a feature. Build a better content strategy, because it's related to their main pain point, which is that they're feeling lost or that their content strategy doesn't work. And if someone was to book a content marketing consultation with me, then they clearly want a better content strategy, right? So if I can deliver that to them, then that's going to make them excited about my product. And also, again, I mentioned from an emotive standpoint that I want my customers to feel re-energized and just ready ready to make content again. I think sometimes making content by yourself can be a very lonely experience. I have a lot of content that I make, and my content pipeline has increased drastically throughout this year. So if I wasn't as excited about making content as I am, naturally, I can very much see how it would be a stressful and frustrating process, especially when you're not seeing the results that you're looking for. As you can see, this main example that I've used actually highlights the feelings and the emotions that I want the customer to feel once they've had that session, but also still focuses on transformation. And those two key components really make a powerful benefit. So I just want you to bear that in mind when you're stating your benefits. Remember that you need to focus on emotion and then also the transformation as well. So emotion and transformation, those are the two key components for great benefits. So now that you've actually presented a solution and you've stated the benefits, you now want to actually use social proof. And it's no secret that people are more likely to buy something if they've seen that others have enjoyed that product or service. And the main reason for this is because it shows that your service is legitimate and that the customer is going to get the product or service that they expected. And the best type of social proof depends entirely on your business. So for example, if you're a B2B business, then I personally find case studies are really impactful because they can show exactly how your product or service helped a business transform essentially from deployment to after they've actually implemented your offering within their business. So that's really powerful for B2B businesses. And then testimonials are great for agencies or some service providers such as dental and cleaning services, and they essentially just serve as concrete proof that the business works and that they got what they wanted. Essentially, with testimonials, how you present your testimonial is particularly important. I personally just have written testimonials because I find that that's very common practice for agencies and most people trust them within my line of work. But you could also include a video testimonial or a series of video testimonials as well. And with these, you want to get your customer to answer specific questions that you know your prospects might have about using your business, because it just really helps prospects understand exactly what the process is like as far as what working with you is like, so that they can get a good idea from a non-biased entity essentially. And then lastly, you also just have customer reviews, which are great for hotels and e-commerce businesses. And you can also use customer reviews for like dental cleaning as well, but I find more personal testimonials are better for those. But yeah, obviously customer reviews are great for hotels, restaurants, products. You just want to make sure that you're getting real customer reviews. And you can also use things like Trustpilot, for example, which is a recognized review service. So obviously there's a lot of controversy surrounding Trustpilot too. So whether you decide to just include customer reviews on your website or a link to a service like Trustpilot is totally up to you. But it's really important that you include any type of social proof just to increase the buyer's confidence in your product. And the last step to writing a sales page, but perhaps the most important step, is to include a CTA. I've given lots of different advice about CTAs, but when it comes to sales pages, I think that focusing on just one CTA will be incredibly powerful, because as your reader moves slowly down the page and takes in all the information, they're able to get a much broader scope of your offering before making their final decision. Whereas if they were to click on something and not given any context in terms of the solution or social proof, then they might actually be disappointed with the product. And again, really important here to focus on using concrete language and also with anchor text. So essentially the text that is used when you're linking out to external pages. You don't want to just say click here, because whilst it's concrete, it doesn't really excite the reader very much. So think about what kind of text, what kind of copy would get your reader very excited to actually click on something, and what would make them want to click on a link. So yeah, that's it. That's everything that I have for you for today's video. As always, if you liked it, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be made aware of any new videos that are released. Currently, I am looking to upload every Friday, but that might change in the future depending on when my schedule, if my schedule changes or if I want to upload more videos in the future. And yeah, as always, I just wanted to give a bit of time to talk about my agency, Megan Taylor Creative. We do offer web copywriting services. So if you're looking for a landing page or you're looking for email copywriting or social media copywriting or anything like that, please do get in touch. We offer a free content marketing consultation to all new clients. So I will leave that link in the description box below. And as always, I will speak to you next week. Thanks for watching.